definitely. But not counting out Built Butter though, and they're very, very impressive. I would say hold at this point on defender side, which is where they are starting for this map. So it is still anybody's game. But
Yes,
we are already
indeed.
quickly locked and loaded in, and yeah, we are seeing Rush on that Sova already. Flowerful, very exciting to see her on the Reyna for this map. That should be fun.
Ooh. So in the games that I've casted so far, I haven't seen a Reyna.
Oh,
So, yeah, in the second semifinal match, nobody played Reyna. Unless I'm completely mistaken, but I don't think so. Let me check my notes.
How do you feel about the changes that they've made to her?
So I don't typically play Reyna myself unless people are mean and make me. But I like the changes. When she had the four options, she was just a little bit OP. It was way too easy for her to pop off by herself and not play with her team. I think with these changes, it kind of forces her to be more of a team player.
Yeah.
Which this whole game is about being a team player, so I think that makes it a good change.
Exactly. But Flowerful, she's been such a strong fragger for her team that I'm very excited just to see what she does with that Reyna. But SinCere, it looks like they want to make their decision here and already making a lot of noises on A site. That Jet already dashing through, sitting in the back. They are going to have to deal with the annoying turret, just letting the rest of Built Butter know that they are here. That Killjoy Molly kind of slowly any attempt to get that spike down, but once again, Built Butter will be doing the retake. But not too worrisome. They've been pretty phenomenal with it so far.
Yeah, and it looks like Zoesi's kind of sticking in the back there, making sure nobody comes in to flank them, making her presence known.
Exactly. Flowerful and Lori already picking up kills for themselves, but here we go, Rush, with those arrows already trying to see if they can protect Spike, but Flowerful, 4K for her, finishes out the round. Even that's a defuse for her as well. She is at 4-0 right now, already close to getting her ultimate online.
Yeah, I mean, Reyna only needs 6 kills or ultimate orbs to get her ultimate. It's a very fast one to get, especially because a lot of her utility package is meant to get her those kills. I would not be surprised if she popped it round 3, or even if she popped it this round, if she could get those 2 kills quickly.
Exactly. Yeah, for sure.
And it does look like SinCere is lining up for
Rush. Yeah, I was saying we saw Rush though already picking up the first shock dart kill of this game.
Yeah,
I'm gonna have a little mental counter here. I'm gonna have a little counter here. That is one. I expect more. I'm excited. Wolf, you've hyped me. I'm in it. I've bought into the hype. Let's go, Rush. Meanwhile, rest of SinCere gonna reset. They're gonna go sneaky beaky like back onto CT, taking that spike all the way back onto A, as 3 out of the 5 members postured up mid, as you say, trying to take any control there, but
I'm not sure what they saw over on B side that made them make this decision to rotate. Because it didn't seem like there was that much utility usage. Nobody really saw each other.
But Natty will be the bait, will take one, Rush following in to trade out with another, but the rest of their team sneaking their way onto A site will get that spike down because the rotation so quick from Built Butter. They're already there. Emily trying to see if she can catch the flank, but will face the Spectre of Vernina.
Turret out.
Oh, and it's a 2v4.
One enemy remaining.
And again, Lily on her lonesome flowerful triple kill for her. That is her ultimate now online, ready for round 3. And they will get a defuse and another point on the board for Built Butter.
That explained why they did that rotation. They were trying to do a mind trick there, which worked. I mean, all of Built Butter swung over to B once they started attacking there, leaving A site completely free to take and get that plant down. The downside of doing something like that, though, is that you lose players doing that kind of play, and so your defense after the plant is not as strong as it could be if you were moving together as your team.
Yeah, I think they were definitely hoping for maybe more than the one that they were able to take as far as trades, if they were going to sacrifice themselves that way. But I think they're, overall, they could be happy with just getting the spike down. They've got it down both rounds, so it has helped their economy just a little bit, but it's all about controlling mid, which you're seeing a lot of presence, both utility and just vision, while the rest of SinCere waiting on A. But look at again, Built Butter constantly playing things differently every round. They've moved Killjoy on B, and they're gonna get a read on this as SinCere pushes their way through. Flowerful sprays through that smoke, but SinCere already on site, and they will get the spike down. Lily gets one. Emily picks another for herself. These rifles definitely paying off for them. Panini hoping to get one, unfortunately not able to connect. Emily picks up her second kill for the game, and Built Butter down to 2. Oh my god, it's not constant. Gets another shot-down kill, but triple kill for Lily to close out the round and get a point on the board for Team SinCere.
Yeah. What you mentioned before, though, with from Built Butter swapping it up on defense. And it's so true, and it's really throwing off how SinCere can plan their attacks here, because they don't know where that Killjoy is going to be. Swapping it up, normally when we were talking about like, oh yeah, teams are doing great, they're swapping up their tactics, you're talking about the attackers. Yeah. So it's very interesting to see it come out of the defense in this manner. As we can see again, the Killjoy setting her stuff up different places.
Yeah, she's now middle. Rest of her team, I think, aggressively pushing B halls, but they're not really able to find anybody. Will fall back. And it's just a lonesome Sova on A, holding everything down over there.
Yeah, Built Butter definitely plays this a little bit differently than Project X, who SinCere faced in the semifinals. They don't really give up mid.
Enemy down.
Oh, that is a shotgun to the face of Natty. Itnahan is gonna fall back, fully aware that there was still more people trying to make their way onto A main, and signals the rest of her team, help me out. They might not commit though, and they're not. Look where Spike is going again.
Yeah, and this is what we saw from SinCere in the semifinals. Like, they make those decisions to rotate very decisively. They're not afraid to do it. Oh, Flowerful's waiting for them, though.
Yeah, they spot her. She's forced to fall back. Lear is pulled out. But Lily wins out the duel. Rush follows Emily as well. But that spike needs to go down, and they are finally going to get it planted. But it's all up to Lori and Itnahan on the retake, but all she has is the pesky Bucky. Eventually, Emily with the triple kill will win it out 2-2 for Team SinCere.
That was a round that I expected from SinCere. You know, they looked both places. They tried to draw out utility. They were, you know, not over-committing anywhere, waiting for some of those rotations to come through and then swapping over to the other site. It was really nice from them. We're seeing, you know, the Killjoy here for Nina. She's setting up her stuff on B site. They don't want that kind of rotation to happen again. which the Project X Killjoy set that up as well, and SinCere's very good about knowing that that kill line is there on that walkway, and they'll avoid it. They'll go to the other side.
Yeah.
So I'm curious to see if they'll do that this time if they end up going B.
It's a paranoia to come out. Lear is used as well, but Natty with her flash tries to push through. SinCere's paranoia comes out as well, and Natty wins out that opening frag out on A main. Oh, but she is lit. Emily picks up one for herself in short. Make that a double by taking out Flowerful, and that's the opening that SinCere is looking for to make their way onto site. But if not, Han, sitting in hell, managed to get 2 before finally being removed, and it's all up to Vernina.
Bot coming back. Recalling my bot.
See if she can make any dent in damage here.
Spike planted.
Yeah, and she has the lockdown. I don't know that she'll use it here, so it does have Hunter's Fury, which will very easily take it out.
Placing sentry.
The battle of the turrets. One is dead. Yeah, she wants to commit, so she's trying to see if she can get some bodies here, but unfortunately, post-plant positions for SinCere really on point. They spot her, they kill her, lock it in. 3 points on the board for SinCere.
Yeah, and that, you know, she was trying to play that, trying to draw out some, you know, greed from SinCere, trying to see if she can get them to poke her, to poke out to do a 1v1 rather than having to go onto site completely to do a 3v1. But SinCere, very disciplined, did not take the bait.
Yep, that is for sure. And it looks like mid control is the name of this round, as you have players from SinCere making their presence known in the middle. I can't look at the way Built Butter constantly just moves Vernina around. She's now playing short with all of her Killjoy utility.
Here.
Yeah, I mean, she's moving around quite a bit. But we have a lot of ultimates on board here, or online here. Don't know when they'll be used, but I expect one person's going to use an ult, and then it's just going to be like a waterfall effect.
Oh, absolutely. I'm going to take my breath, get ready for it. But just the way Built Butter, they are on a save round here, so they're playing a little. You are seeing Spectres and Buckies in their hands, so they're trying to position themselves in closer quarters, trying to see if they can get those trades.
30
But
seconds.
SinCere run it back, now used. Paranoia also thrown out from Built Butter. Hunter's Fury as well coming out. As you said, these waterfalls flowing and flowing. It's a 3v4. But Spike still available. Make that even 10 seconds left on the clock. They need to get that Spike
10
down.
seconds
Emily
left.
with a triple. And Spike finally being planted.
Here. Blocking sight.
Clock's a ticking. The pressure is on. And
No
if
charge
not,
block.
Han and Vernina will drop that lockdown. Forcing. There it is. Hunter's Fury comes out to try and destroy it. But Emily with the 4K for her. Not able to get that ace, but eventually Rush will trade her out, and they'll secure this round once again for SinCere.
Yeah, it was really good that SinCere had that Hunter's Fury up, because that could have gone so wrong for them if they didn't. Just because, like, they were in a bad spot. That lockdown didn't give them much room to move. There was no place in the back of that site that they could have hid. They had to push to try to kill the lockdown if they didn't have Hunter's Fury.
Yeah.
And that's why people play Sova or play Brimstone against Killjoys, is to easily take out lockdown without having to push and endanger yourself.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Very, very pesky ultimate. Very strong ultimate, but rest of SinCere, again, they the way they play this, like they never really fully expect to commit to a site. They just kind of leave Spike hanging in the back, and when the blue wall comes up, scout a little bit, trying to see if they can get any aggressive peeking, which we've seen Built Butter do. They're very patient players, but they do tend to play very aggressive to either get an eagle peek at the start or get information as far as where teams are playing or players are trying to push. And they're not getting any of that here.
No, I mean, as you said, SinCere likes their information. They love getting information. And they don't mind spending the first half of this timer getting it, making sure they know what they're about to run into.
Yeah. And it looks like
30
they
seconds left.
want to try and make a play onto A side. Lockdown is used. Natty already finding Vernina. Rest of her team pushing their way onto site will get that spike down. Emily and Natty respectively picking up kills again for themselves. Oh, it's not Han and Natty both swinging, just missing each other's heads. Flowerful already on the flank, but it's a 2v4 on the retake for Built Butter. And this is going to be pretty tough for them to fight into all of that utility.
Yeah, and they really only have one way that they can enter site. They can only go through Heaven, because Emily is there waiting to come in behind them. But it looks like we're going to have a bit of a save instead.
Yeah. It's not the... It's the best call, I think, for this situation. They want to save their rifles and want to carry it over for the next round because of their economy, so...
Yeah, I mean, they already knew coming into here that they were probably going to have to go into a save round, so saving those 2 rifles, as you said, was probably the best option there. But yeah, that was most of the ults used in the last 2 rounds. So we see a couple have come back online, or a couple of them are close. You got Zoesi and Panini are both only 2 off of from the shadows.
Yeah.
It's always interesting to see how Omens use their ults.
Lori, it is a save round, but she used her Blade Storm, but will immediately get found by Emily, and her rifle crosshairs takes her out. There's a lot of shooting and utility being used at middle. Oh, that's rough.
Yeah, this is
Recalling my bot.
this is a little bit of what we saw from SinCere in that, you know, the first game that we saw them on this map is they like to make a lot of noise at the beginning. You know, really put their... I'm gonna shut up now because they're about to engage people.
It's all good. They're just running through all the utility, making their way onto site. They got it. They get that spike down. But Vernina, with that Spectre that she picked up, gets the kill. Flowerful picks one for herself. Bodies are being traded. It's a 3v3 with that spike ticking away. And they tap it, try to see if they can force something here. Oh, but it is once again Rush forcing them off with those shock dart plays. It's all up to her. Oh, the swing does not miss. Connect, double headshot, and a win for Rush. Clutch, and 6 points for SinCere. Ooh.
Yes. All right, now I can finish my thought. They were, you know, we saw in that first game, and a little bit, not as much in this one, but a little bit, where they tend to make a lot of noise at the beginning.
Yeah.
And it's really nice because they
Placing alarm
like
bot.
put their opponents on alert. I was talking with Mimi about this. And once your opponent is on alert for a round, like, it's very hard for them to come down off of it, and it's exhausting to keep yourself at that level. And they're really good at doing these kind of like mind games where they just mess with their opponents.
Yeah, hold that thought. Run it back is used. It looks like they want to make stuff happen on a site right now. We're seeing the Phoenix wall up and shots being fired, but that spike on the opposite side of the map. So the rest of SinCere already pushing their way onto middle as they force that rotation from Built Butter. And looks like B is the site that they want to commit to. It not Han finds Emily's head through her own smoke. But that door is going to close and they are going to make their way onto site. It's a 4v5. And that's an advantage for the retake here for Built Butter. So let's see if they can capitalize on it. Just kidding, Zoesi evens things out. Spots where everybody else is, tries to do a little bit of damage. When she does, her and Natty pick out bodies for themselves. And suddenly, whatever advantage Built Butter has is now just down to 2 to 4. Oh, Vernita. Traps her in. But Zoesi saw such a strong round for It Not Han on her lonesome, having to deal with utility, Killjoy turret, both on the flank. They pinch her in, Lily connects, and that's now 7 points for SinCere.
Yeah, at this point, you know, Built Butter has to... They have to gain some momentum. They have to get some rounds here. I'm sure they're probably scrambling, trying to figure out exactly how they need to counter whatever SinCere is doing to continuously get these rounds. And that's the kind of like downside of wanting to swap your strats a lot, is it makes it hard to counter your opponent's strats, especially when your opponents are also swapping their strats a lot.
Yeah.
And I think right now they're just misaligning which strats Built Butter runs with which strats SinCere runs, and SinCere's are just getting the upper hand in those swaps.
Yeah. And it looks like, again, it's the same song and dance, securing that ultimate orb for their important players, important ultimates that help them open up site. We're always seeing it on Natty. She's now 4 out of 6. Because run it back, using it as a key. Lockdown is another that they've been doing that on. And that's all they've almost been doing on A main. Get that orb, swing over to the other side, get that other orb, and it might even pay out because It Not Han playing very aggressive with that Bucky, not able to find another. So it's still even 4v4 as they try to push their way through.
30 seconds left.
All the utility coming out, but Lori, what a spray and pray gets 2. Oh my goodness. Zoesi forced to plant, but Natty eventually will find the head of Lori. Flowerful picks her up. Spike is taking away, but Natty almost got those 1v1 she was looking for, but eventually Built Butter, a much needed round for them. 3 points now.
Yeah, that was, as you said, a much needed round for them. Really good. That was the kind of retake that we've seen them do on Bind, and I'm happy that we got to see it again here. Maybe it'll give them a little bit momentum. There's only what, 2 more rounds here in this half?
Yeah.
They've got to pick it up, close that gap a little bit before they swap sides. Because this was SinCere's map choice. So they're confident in both their attack and their defense on this map. Built Butter can't let them get so far ahead before the swap.
That is absolutely correct. And again, it's the same of the same for each round. Sitting on A main, getting that orb. Natty, her run it back, already ready to go.
Nailed them.
And it's Emily that manages to find that connecting kill on Cat. Run it back, used to push onto A site right now. And Built Butter are left with 3 bodies to try and stop this. If not, Han uses Hunter's Fury to slow down that spike plant, which she does.
Spike planted.
But they eventually will get that down in a different position, and they're gonna have to make something happen here. But Flowerful, no vision through that Phoenix smoke. Not realize he's on a crossfire here. Has to swing one way. Will get traded.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, but eventually SinCere will win out that round. And that's 8 points on the board for them.
Last round in the half.
Yeah, we're going into the last round here. Unfortunately, I mean, they're going to force here. Built Butter is going to force and get whatever kind of guns that they can for this last round. But a lot of them can't get those rifles, especially if they want the utility. So we're going to see another one where they're going to have to play a little bit differently than they maybe want to. They're not going to be able to take those long engagements, really kind of waiting, as you had pointed out before, that they like to wait in those corners when they have these Buckies and SMGs. It's going to be a lot more of that.
Yep, and again, Natty taking that orb. Well, the rest of her team just posturing away. Built
Yeah,
Butter.
look how many ults they have, though. They have 4 ults that they can use this round, and we're probably going to see most of them come out.
Yeah, we do have Empress and Lockdown available for Built Butter to either... They can either choose to play aggressive here together, but it looks like they're going to want to play it passive. The timer is on their side until that spike goes down, so that's what they're going to do. Force SinCere to make a play, and hopefully they can punish and capitalize on whatever momentum that they can swing. But SinCere,
right here.
the tried and true, right? Take that orb, make a lot of noises, A, force the rotations, eventually run it all the way onto B site. That is red. Lockdown is used.
30 seconds left.
As they try to open up the site, but Zoesi also uses from the shadows, now secures the boathouse. Empress will be used. All these ultimates, all obviously being used. We have the Empress online. We have Bladestorm online. We still have Vernina with her own lockdown as well. Sova. We have Rush having oh my goodness. And just dashes through. And there it is. Lockdown used by Vernina. They're going to try and see if they can use that to open up. Flowerful grabs a kill for herself. Meanwhile, Rush using Hunter's Fury, trying to secure and clean it out. But eventually, Lori wins it out. Triple kill for her on that Jet, and she'll get the defuse, and that is 4 points to end this half for Built Butter.
Yeah, 4-8.
Switching
not
sides.
a bad scoreline. Obviously not what they were hoping for, especially given the last game on Bind where we went into the half at, even. This one's gonna hurt a little bit, but that's okay. They're not that far off. They can get 4 rounds. They won the pistol in the first half. They've got to be feeling pretty good about, hopefully picking it up this half. If they can pick up the pistol and the second round, that's going to put them pretty close.
Out of charges. Turn out.
Definitely, not done with this game yet.
My bot. Alarm bot
Absolutely, but we are now seeing SinCere on the defender's side of their map choice.
Yes, and they are stacking up on A site, which is an unfortunate choice here, given that, Built Butter appears to be going towards B.
Yeah, and the rest of the SinCere kind of making the rotation. I mean, look at how aggressive Natty and Emily are playing this. They already know that the win is there, but they might run into this flank. They'll hear these footsteps. Oh, they hear them.
Ooh.
They know the rotation. That's their team already alerted. The peak Flowerful gets taken out by Emily. Rest of the team kind of postured here, trying to see if they can trade out. They eventually do. It's a 3v3. They now need to get onto site. But rest of Built Butter will be meeting them. Oh, Rush. Trying to slow it down. Bot is triggered. They need to get that spike down, but it's so frustrating.
30 seconds left.
They need to slow it down.
spikes down.
Vernina will get that spike down with the help of her mollies. But Lily dealing with a little turret battle for herself by doors. The rest of her team trying to push their way through. And this crossfire is what is the only thing that they can hope for here. But SinCere wins that out. Ooh.
Oh yeah, that was
No, you don't deserve.
that was unfortunate for Built Butter because, as we said earlier, Rush has really good lineups for her shock darts. So you can't plant in the default places, especially when she's still up, and has those available. I think it just really kind of threw off Built Butter's momentum getting onto site there. They weren't able to set up properly for that post plant. We saw them both sticking around in Hell, which is not a bad place to go, but once people know you're there, you're kind of stuck.
Yeah. And looks like Built Butter wanting to try and see if they can make something happen here. They are going to push, but Natty with that flash, I'm sure already hits a couple, throws her little fire mollies as well. Rest of her team coming to help, but again, take that orb, same playbook, rotate themselves over to the other side, which for SinCere, they never really left. They're still holding out CT. They still have presence at B. So it's a fake of a fake. You run away and then walk back over.
Yeah, and they have some information. They know that Flowerful was somewhere in the mid. When she doesn't pop up in the mid or in B, they're going to know that she went down catwalk. But it's just a waiting game now, and SinCere's playing this very patiently.
Yeah. I mean, it is Built Butter that's on deck here. 30 seconds,
30 seconds left.
On that timer. And they push through, but Zuesi and Natty already locking it down for themselves. And just like that, couldn't even make it through. Lockdown for sure. Not even the ultimate for that side for SinCere.
Yeah, I like watching SinCere. They're very precise with everything that they do. You know, we don't see them getting flustered too often. There's not a lot of, oh, let's rotate here, let's rotate back. When they're on defense, it's, okay, I have this zone, this is mine. Unless you really need me, I'm just going to sit here. And that's really nice to see. Like, we're seeing, they're just leaving Killjoy over there. Lily, she just has B site. She's the only one there. They're stacking A because they know that with her setup, with the utility, they'll gain the information they need if it's a B execution.
Yeah. Yeah. For SinCere, at this point, they are just playing the waiting game. They're on defense. It's all up to Built Butter to make something happen here. And with the way things are going, if SinCere keeps playing it this way, we're going to game 3.
Yeah.
And that's what they want. They want to put that pressure on, and pressure is what they're doing. You're looking at Built Butter playing 2 in wine as the rest of SinCere push their way through. I don't know if they're expecting that. That is definitely something different. Panini will check, finds Natty, but not realizing that there's 2 bodies there, will eventually get traded out. But 3v4 on that retake now for SinCere. Zosi manages to even it out. And it's still looking pretty favorable. That's a 3v2 as they push their way through. Emily, make that a triple kill for her. If not, Han tries to even it out, but not enough. That is a defuse, and now 11 points for SinCere.
Yeah, 11 points on the board for them. They did pretty good damage to the economy. I'm not entirely certain. Okay, they are going to be able to force up and buy rifles if they want this round, but they might just go for a save since it's not quite match point, so that they can buy rifles next round. Kind of. Did Vernita just toss her classic off the edge?
Like,
okay.
I don't need this. I do not.
Keep again. Knives only. I'm sorry. That just distracted me.
No. It's all good. Yep. I mean, Built Butter, trying to see if they can flip it around a little bit. They are now going to posture outside of B halls and face the utility that is Lily. Turret spots Lori out. And they will play the lockdown.
Yeah, this is a good time for it.
Which
Nova doesn't have Hunter's Fury to get rid of that.
Nobody is in sight, so the rest of Built Butter, or sorry, for SinCere, having to play the retake, but Lily, oh, those utility that she had on the door removes bodies already. Takes out Lori. Try to push their way through. Zoe finds one. Spray's going out. They're trying to take Vernita down. Emily eventually will connect. It's a 2v5.
Enemy remaining.
Make that a 1v5 in Panini. Trying to see if she can make a miracle happen here. Not enough. Emily with the triple kill. And they are now match point. SinCere.
Yeah. That was... I don't know how the turret spotted
Match point.
Panini, because Panini was standing behind it, but it was just like, oh hey, there's somebody right here. Turret is 6-man on the team. But yeah, we're
exactly.
At match point, 8-round differential here. This is going to be really tough for Built Butter to come back from this. But it's okay. If they lose this, it's not over. As you said, we're going to go to game 3. It's going to be Icebox. They still have a chance to take the finals. And this was a question I asked Mimi before. Like, at this point, it's really kind of a question of, do you exhaust yourself trying to come back from this difference, or do you just say, okay, hey, we have one more game, like, let's just get ready for that one?
Right. Yeah, that's kind of a tough one. That it kind of comes down to the team dynamic as far as, are you able to mentally reset yourself, knowing that you have to go to a game 3 and consider this game, and I wouldn't necessarily say give up, but consider it a loss to prepare yourself and reset for the next game? Or do you carry on over, right, and try and work your hardest for that comeback, which is still quite possible, but you'd have to come back for an overtime since we're sitting at 12. But
right.
Built Butter manages to push their way onto A site. Now they are going to get that spike down with a body in their favor as a 5v4 retake here. But they are going to have to deal with that operator on Emily, and that's going to be frustrating and a little bit scary.
Yeah, and Idnan Hunt has Hunter's Fury up. She can sit back a little bit and just protect the spike from being diffused.
Yeah. The rest of her team, I think, are going to want to try to bait that out a little bit. Lori finds one. Flowerful picks up one for herself. Panini, each one of them just grabbing a kill to their name. And now Zoe, she is all on her lonesome here. Will try to fall back, try to save this rifle. Not enough time to do anything else.
No, and she's making sure nobody's coming out after her before actually backing off of that site.
Yeah.
All right, 5-12. We're coming back. So everybody can buy rifles this round. Don't have to force at all, though we are seeing that Flowerful is bringing herself down to 0 in order to get that rifle. So their economy of Built Butter is not quite where they probably hope it would be, but if they can win this round, they should be pretty set.
Yeah. Also probably feels very good to get rid of that operator, take it away from the hands of Emily, and Paranoia to open up the round here as Flowerful and Lori try to push their way through B halls, but
yeah, but look at that Killjoy kill line set up there.
Yeah. I can understand the hesitation, and Zoesi already joining her teammate here, sitting in boathouse. That's gonna force a rotation out for Built Butter, but I think they're trying to decide, is this do we fake it? Do we go?
Yeah, they might be going in to take mid to go back over to B. They're just trying to see if there's any presence in mid from the other team that they need to be aware of.
Yeah. And I would say, at least like from our all-seeing eyes, the fake out wasn't really gonna work anyway. Nobody left Nobody budged from A site on the side of SinCere. They know that time is in their favor. We're hitting the 30-second mark now. Spike still in play. Need to get that
30
down.
seconds
And
left.
Built Butters, pressure is on them to make their way onto a site and get that down.
Yeah, so that's so
Like
much
wanna commit here.
Maddie here.
Oh, she gets found, but Emily will get a trade. 13 seconds left. That spike is finally down on top of all of those shock darts, but it's a 4v4.
Turret out.
But pressure is on for SinCere to get on side to get that defuse.
Yeah, and again, the Hunter's Fury's still staying up. They haven't used it yet. She's in a bad place to use it right now, but so I don't think we'll see it this time.
Yeah. USC finds one. Lily finds another. And Emily is going to tap that defuse. Will already get it to half before finally being removed, but it doesn't matter. We are going to a game 3 as SinCere claims this map for themselves, and series is now tied 1-1 in the